So despite all the insults I continue to receive because of my father, President Idi Amin, just because I am an African voice speaking out for peace, well, then there is no stopping. Therefore, the question I am asking is, what next for the African Peace Initiative? The concern I have is those both in Africa and abroad who falsely believe that the African mission is not worth anything, and thus want to pull down the African leaders of their noble effort. Firstly, what does it cost Africa to have an organized, common political or moral voice in world affairs? Just like everyone is commenting and expressing their views on everything, and even offering credible solutions to grave political and socio-economic concerns overseas. Whatever that little cost is, it is money better spent than, for example, what is misused and lost to corruption every single day on the continent. Yet here we are putting our voice front and center in the affairs of today's global village. As I recently stated, if we do not get off our behinds and start working to help resolve the world's dangerous conflicts, then what are we demanding 2 United Nations Security Council seats for? What for exactly? Just to sit on them waiting to be bribed by any warring parties so as to vote one way or another in UN resolutions? Or to proactively promote world peace both in Africa and overseas, which is the single actual mandate of the UN Security Council. You cannot just ask for a position that you do not know anything about and actually have no practical overseas experience in. You must start first building proof of competence. To characterize this better in the African context, why do we want to be left playing outside like children while responsible elders sit down together trying to resolve the global village's problems, plan for its future, and travel around the world trying to find solutions and common ground to resolve the world's conflicts? Remaining in playful mindsets is evidence of not having a worldview at all and not knowing what to do at the table of men. This is what results in remaining irresponsible to humanity and to ourselves. We might rage about human rights in regards to Africa, but actually have no feelings about what it means for others overseas. Meaning that we are all talk, but actually no true conviction. Important experiences, important global experiences, is what is needed most to upgrade societies, our caliber of leadership, and get us out of our intellectual and perceptual limitations, if only we care to imagine and venture philosophically, scientifically, and economically beyond ourselves so as to fully engage with this world that we are part of. Africa has, for the first time ever, just stepped up to global peace activism in a major overseas conflict and has unearthed serious hidden truths on how peace has actually been systematically stifled for dangerous interests that have been stealthily dragging the entire planet into a possible nuclear holocaust. Let it be clear that the recent peace mission is historic, as it has never happened before outside of our continent. Therefore, those leaders now have their place in the records of history, but they should not allow laziness, mental slavery, and inconsistency to take over, as it will quickly turn this important effort into a footnote in history, especially since the initiative is also a platform that allows Africa to launch the next important endeavor against the next major threat to world peace, a conflict in China. As I previously stated, the foolhardy escalation of war rhetoric in the international media regarding Taiwan, plus the actual military build-up around the South China Sea and the skirmishes happening in that theater, is undeniably producing the biggest threat to global economic stability and world peace. and I have tried to communicate this to the concerned African leaders for their assessment. Our governments, news media, political analysts, economists, Pan-Africanists, and even social media influencers must do a better job of knowing what is unfolding out there, how exactly it could impact us compared to what Africa and the global economy has faced in 2022, and then clearly explain the importance of de-escalation, its immediate and long-term benefits, plus the social political significance it adds globally to our union of nations and peoples. Countries overseas have always mobilized their societies under a common public interest and worldview. Meanwhile, as a starting point in regards to China, Africa must ask the international community to provide public clarification to one particular question. On what moral and legal basis is the international community completely rejecting independence for Eastern Ukraine, yet supporting independence for Taiwan? Thank you.